What's up, guys? I'm here today. This time I have a video discussing the suspect test that's going on in Ubers. If you guys didn't know, Shadowtag is being suspected, and or Gengar, you know, one or the other, or both. Anyway, I'm not alone. To discuss it with me, I have my friends, and they can introduce themselves in any order they want. So, go buddies.
My name is Edgar. I've been playing Ubers for quite a while, and yeah, I'm interested in these suspect tests.
Yeah, what's up, guys? I'm Blim. I've been playing in the Ubers tournaments for a long time. So I was in the last Hypercast too. So I know my stuff. So yeah.
Hello guys, we've got Problems here, and I'm back once again, showing people why British people are the best players around.
Alright.
They can't afford good mics though. But yeah. Anyway, so in Ubers, Gengar, and Shadowtag are currently being suspected. I think we're going to be discussing Gengar first before we move on to Shadowtag as a whole, and you know, basically what abuses it. So, what are you guys' initial thoughts on Mega Gengar?
I personally think Mega Gengar is very unhealthy to the metagame because not only it restricts team building, but the part that I consider uncompetitive about Mega Gengar during the battles is that it forces 50-50s, and a lot of people say 50-50s are skill, but I don't really think so because it's basically flipping a coin flip, and yeah, it's all about luck, like getting the play right, and that can decide your match, and I don't really like when that's happening.
Okay, I guess I'll go at next. I think Mega Gengar, I think it's fairly uncompetitive because basically it can remove, like, every game it can remove like any Pokemon, a key Pokemon to opposing team. It can, like, just, you know, remove them from game, sometimes like one or even two Pokemon. So if you have, like, you know, bulky Arceus and you're using it to, maybe let's say Arceus Water, and that's your, I don't know, Kyogre check, and Gengar could just remove it, then you got get like swept by you know, Kyogre. Or maybe Gengar removes your Xerneas check, like a Conflable, Scizor, or anything like that. So yeah, it's just a very problematic Pokemon to deal with.
My thought about it is where it makes a lot of building not viable. For example, it'll restrict team building because Gengar, just as people said, removes certain things that we use to wall other things, which makes your team more open to getting swept or you not playing very well. So yeah, it's just not healthy, as it restricts options in which you can use during play.
I think for me, the thing that makes Mega Gengar unhealthy for the metagame, or at least broken in quotations, is that its ability to arguably beat any Pokemon 1v1. Due to Shadow Tag, its high special attack, and Destiny Bond plus Taunt especially, it's able to
it's high speed tire too. That's a big thing too.
Yeah. Forgot that. Thanks. Basically, it can trap anything. Even if you revenge kill, let's say you switch out your Pokemon and you go into your Scarf Ogre as they Mega Evolve. If they click Destiny Bond, you're stuck in there, and your Scarf, so you're forced to go for Water Spout, Surf, whatever, and it'll just take you out with itself. And it's just ability to work well with any teammate. If you have a Xerneas on your team and you don't want to run HP Fire on it, and you're a little bit weak to Scizor, Mega Gengar, just slap HP Fire on it, knock out Scizor, because Scizor is quote-unquote the counter with Pursuit and BP, and bam, Xerneas just smacks the team after that. I think it's a strong Pokemon in itself. Also, its unpredictability. You don't know if it's running D-Bond, HP Fire, Icy Wind for Landorus T, etc., etc. And its ability not only as itself to hit hard, but also trap any Pokemon and work as a great teammate. It's like mega team player, basically.
Yeah, I feel like when you take the switches out of a singles metagame, that just removes the game, basically, because singles is about switching. That you take out the skill out of the game, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, let me just say this right quick. I mean, with Mega Gengar, basically, you can have a sweep of like Xerneas, Yavato, a Coal Mine Arches farm. And basically, if it's two good players playing against each other, you could basically look at your opponent's team. You can say, okay, I'm just going to switch Gengar in, trap my opponent's wall or whatever, and then I'm just gonna sweep them with whatever. It makes it more of a matchup game, than more of a 50-50 lucky prediction games, an actual skill game, and that's what kind of makes Mega Gengar, you know, kind of really annoying in this meta game.
Yeah, that's the problem. As most people have argued, it will get rid of things that people dedicate in their teams, well, slots to counter other things. For example, as people said, Xerneas, then it will open up pathways for Xerneas sweeps if you use it rightly for your team, in which counter, for example, as Joey said, HP5. So yeah.
I also think that people fail to see how powerful it is. I believe, Edgar, I think you told me before, timid Mega Gengar is 1 point stronger than Modest Palkia.
Yeah, it has the same special attack as a timid Kieran White.
Which is powerful as hell. And sure, there are checks like you know, Jolly, SD, Arceus with Shadow Claw. Gengar comes in, you're able to knock it out. But those are checks. There's no definite counter that wants to come in.
Oh, that's not really a check. Like,
yeah, quote. Well, only if you get it in with an SD and they try and check you. But
yeah, basically
if they 3 times anyway. So
yeah, if they manage to stop to prevent Gengar from Mega Evolving, then that's fine. But if it Mega Evolves before Arceus comes in, then it can just like Focus Blast or Taunt, Destiny Bond, you know.
Yeah, I mean, about Mega Gengar counters, like I would say the 3 Pursuiters and Ubers are mainly Scizor. You know, you gotta watch out for Hidden Power Fire, Tyranitar, Focus Blast, or Reflect type, and then you have, you know, the recent Pursuit Egg Slash, and you gotta watch out for Shadow Ball too for that. And Gengar can still Destiny Bond on, you know, any of those, and even if Gengar is still gonna take out a Pokemon on your team, even if you know you play it decently.
Yeah, and if you're running,
I feel like.
Go, bro.
Sorry. I feel like you can't exactly check Mega Gengar without losing something in return, like something important in return.
Right. I mean, I'm not going to say it's impossible. You can't beat Mega Gengar without losing the Pokemon, but it's just extremely difficult versus it's close to impossible.
Even based.
Something is going to be weakened. Like, you can't beat that Pokemon without taking damage first, because you have to switch into that Pokemon to your counter. And even then, it's not frail. It's not a frail Pokemon. They mentioned Age Slash. Age Slash uses Pursuit. That only works if they switch out. They have to be running Pursuit plus Shadow Sneak if, you know, Gengar doesn't switch out. And that's only if Gengar doesn't run Shadow Ball, which, you know, isn't as common in Ubers, just because Sludge Wave, Focus Blast basically hit everything too. But that's the thing. And like Scizor doesn't knock it out with BP. It doesn't knock it out with Pursuit if it stays in. And then it's another 50-50 if they're going to switch. If they have HP Fire, you're dead, etc. like that. And you know, it just forces you to run certain slots on your team that are arguably, you know, not like the best Pokemon. Like Install, for instance. Yeah, like
it has a negative influence on team building, basically.
Yeah, like for Stall, like that Aegislash set is usually run on Stall, and you know, it's used to trap Mega Gengar, because Mega Gengar 1v1 Stall, and it's also used to, you know, check Xerneas, but that's a different Pokemon. And you know, if it's weakened because of Mega Gar, Xerneas just comes through.
Exactly. I mean, also Mega Gengar is just like really versatile with its sets. It usually has Taunt and Destiny Bond, but it can run, you know, Sludge Wave, Focus Blast, Hidden Power Fire, Thunder, Reflect type, Soul Parasong set. So it's a pretty versatile Pokemon. You really have to be careful. It's versatile. It just has so many, you know, tools at its disposal.
Yeah, and it's bulky enough to take, like, you know, +2 Moonblast from Xerneas with, you know, the certain spread that they run. I think it's like, what is it, 76 special defense EVs, Destiny Bond, Xerneas, etc. It's just a Pokemon that it can deal with, like I said, arguably any Pokemon, and forces you to run super slots. Like versus Stall, you're forced to run Shed Shell on your Blissey, which is, you know, that lack of recovery, that 6% can definitely cost you, especially versus hazards, just switching in. And Blissey's getting pounded, and then Blissey doesn't even do anything back to Mega Gar. It's just able to switch out. So
I mean, you can run Ice Beam or Flamethrower to kind of hurt Mega Gengar.
Yeah, do like a chill 23%.
Right.
I don't know. I think it's just showing Pokemon. If you need something on your team checked, or if you have a teammate, it's just ability to set up for his teammates is amazing, and its ability to just wreck balance as well as you know, all playstyles.
I mean, it's good versus every playstyle.
Yeah.
I mean, Oh, balance and hyper offense because you could get a really good nice check the SD Arches with a Mega Gengar.
Yeah, it's a crazy Pokemon. I remember in
I mean, it's just crazy. It's just great.
yeah, it's so like an example of it opening up for teammates. The HP Fire obviously on Scizor,
Right.
which means you can be running SD Arceus or Geomancy Xerneas as mentioned before, and you know they don't have a check anymore. It's just the ability to open up and limit team building as well, as you have to run slots that can quote unquote beat it and just weaken it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Got anything else to add, Ali?
No, everything's pretty much been said, except I'll just have the same argument where it was take away things that were, for example, on the Sand team I gave it Icy Wind, so actually Duel isn't taken away by Gliscor, Landorus and stuff like that, so like it is just something that's not needed, and obviously as well when someone needs to be fixed.
Yeah, also Thunder for Ho-Oh because I believe it outgoes Ho-Oh after Stealth Rock.
Yeah, it does.
There's also the surprise factor.
Definitely.
Yeah, also being able to hit like Kyogre, like Spadef Kyogre switch-ins.
I feel like a lot of people that are against the Mega Gengar ban use this argument that people only run Shadow Ball and like coverage.
No, definitely.
But
not.
you can run like any coverage move.
I mean, you can run
you
so many
want.
moves. I mean, you can run like non-standard moves like Will-O-Wisps. I mean, you can run like.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll work.
Yeah, like you're not restricted in a certain moveset
Right.
to make it work.
Yeah, like the Parish song set, just whatever Stomp-Mon you bring in just traps it 1v1.
I actually
Whoops, Edgar dropped. We'll wait for him to come back. We'll wait for him to come back to finish that. But yeah, just its ability to Edgar, finish your statement.
Yeah, I found Soft Hypnosis Mega Gengar, and I basically had a stall team. I had a stall team, and the guys.
Of course,
I had a. But yeah, I had a Hippowdon, and the guy used Hypnosis, and then you stop, and it only had Shadow Ball and Sludge Bomb, but it proceeded to 6-0 my team because it wouldn't miss Hypnosis.
Wow.
And it doesn't have to switch, and you can't switch to the Shadowtag.
You need to
So.
remember as well that it's got an awkward typing as well. For example, if you want to use like a support artist with defog, most of the forms are generally just give it 3 turns and it'll switch in and be able to Mega Evolve, or even for example if it's already evolved, trap it. So it just it just limits a lot of options.
Yeah, it's not like it's not weak to any of the Arceus types at all either. If I remember correctly, bar like Dark. So as going on with what he was saying,
Ghost, you say. Maybe
yeah, Ghost and Ghost can't be trapped, but Ghost
Right.
isn't really. I don't know. It's not really a switching bar. You know, if it has Shadow
Right,
Ball,
yeah, it's not really a switching. Yeah.
and I don't know. It's just like its typing is good that it can come in on judgments from any Arceus form, just trap them. And a defog Arceus specifically, they don't run any special attack investment, if not like 4.
And also you have no way of telling what set it is anyway. For example, as you said, Shadow Ball, or it'll be Sludge Wave, Focus Blast, and then you have to drop one from Shadow Ball if you want to use Taunt and Destiny Bond. So it's another thing where you unnecessarily have to scout the set, for example, if it could just generally be quite an awkward
Yeah,
game.
and it can cost you a Pokemon. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It just promotes a lot of 50-50s and limits team building, which is why I believe that it's unhealthy to the metagame. And people argue that Uber's, well, it's not a tier, it's a ban list for OU. But how do you feel about that with the potential of Pokemon/item, mostly item, I guess, being banned from Ubers? How do you feel about that, Blim?
Well, I think like Ubers wise, we have so many competitive tournaments nowadays. We got Grand Slam, we're in Smoking Premier League. We have all these official tournaments, all these sub form tournaments. So I mean, we need like a balanced tier. I mean, it's just not for it's not fun for anybody to play a messy tier with all these unbalanced elements. So I think I don't really buy that argument.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Ubers is perfectly. You're able to play it, and we have banned stuff from Ubers before. We've tested
Right.
clauses. Moody is banned because Moody is just uncompetitive. It's lucky, the accuracy and all that stuff that you can get, the speed, etc. You could just pass that to something that you can't really take down easily, which is like Ho-Oh, and just wreck. So I definitely understand this being tested in Ubers, even though, you know, Gens 3 through 5, Shadowtag was introduced through Wobbuffet, and it wasn't tested. But I think now with Megagar, it definitely has it, especially because it has that offensive presence.
I think not only that, because the metagame has certainly changed in the fact that people are running default Arceus and other some type of support mons that Mega Gengar or any Shadowtag user could definitely take advantage of, and puts I feel like it puts a player in a very unfair disadvantage when facing Mega Gengar.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I forgot the to mention the boost, the what's it called? Not the nerf. It's the opposite of nerf. The boost to defog, or the bump up that it got.
Oh, definitely.
And basically, you know, you're gonna want to run that. That gets rid of hazards for free. So Megagar being able to take advantage of the defog Arceus and stuff like that going around. What about you, Ali? What do you think?
Everything's pretty much said, to be honest. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. If I'm the last person speaking, everyone's pretty much said what I'm gonna say anyway. So
well, you can just say that. I mean,
I mean, what do you think about the argument of ban list and nothing should be banned / tested?
As you said, there's loads of tournament.
You're breaking up, bro. You're breaking up. I'm gonna hang you up real quick. We'll get him back in a sec, guys.
all right.
Yeah. Also, I like to point out that about what AIM was saying about the defog Arceus. Like, defog Arceus isn't going to ever go away, because hazard stacking is such a big thing that you pretty much want to defog on a lot of teams. But you always have to worry about, oh my god, what if they have a Gengar or Goth Tet? I'm gonna have to double switch, or I'm gonna have to use a Shed Shell. I'm gonna have to do these crazy strategies just to know. I don't get no wrecked by it, huh?
Sorry.
Oh, yeah, I'm done. What you was about to say?
I recently started like running defog Mew, because it actually can U-turn out of a Shadowtag user, and actually did some calcs, like it leaves a Shadow Ball from Gengar, so definitely doesn't get trapped by that, and I actually get to defog, which is
right.
like
I'm just
another.
saying, like, in general, I'm just saying in general, most of the time you're still gonna want to use. No.
I mean, that's one example though. Like, you have to run that very specialized Pokemon on your team.
And even then, Mew, it gets off the defog, but at the price of so much of its HP. Then again, it's like a quote unquote, you know, it just limit the building right there. I mean, it's definitely a cool idea, and I would definitely be using the team when if Edgar passes it to me. But I feel like
the teams are coming soon.
But the bad thing about Mew is that Psychic type in the Uber is like really shitty, because you gotta worry about all this U-turning and all these dark types and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, that aside, Mew stats are defensively actually very good.
Yeah, I like Mew, definitely. I like it. But that just shows how much Mega Gengar is such a bitch.
How much influence it has. You have to run something that can escape it.
Yeah, generally you gotta run 2 checks for that thing, because your first check, like we said before, can just get wrecked.
Quote unquote check, because if he has the coverage to beat the other check, then you're done.
Nothing switches in on that mon that likes it at all.
Definitely.
Yeah. Like, even like a Veltal, you know, Sucker Punch, whatever, it's a dark type. It gets to it KO'd by Sludge Wave / Sludge Bomb, and you can Destiny Bond it, etc. And if they U-turn out, okay, that's cool. Just hit the next thing that comes in.
As you said as well, you need to make a team to have synergy to the point where, like, you can't just have one thing for it, as it could have coverage for that thing. And then by doing that, if you need to dedicate spaces to where it might lack your team to other things, but as it's such a used and bit, what's it called?
You can do it, man. Come on.
You can do it, man. Come on. I got you, man. Take a breather.
I mean, I also like to add in for like more of us tournament players. Like, the first thing that, I mean, personally for me, when SPL now is preparing for someone, I will always think, well, are they going to bring Mega Gengar? Because if I think they do, that's going to really influence my team building a lot. You know.
Yeah, Blim is like a premier counter styler. Like, he's known for that. So him taking into account,
I'm already counter styling everybody in this call, right?
Yeah, he probably is.
You already told us who's getting picked for SPL.
Yeah. Guys, if you didn't know, we're all SPL players, Small on Premier League. I believe I uploaded like the matches, so you guys might know about that. And we're all tournament players and Ubers. Of course, I'm a bit less experienced in Ubers than any of them, just because I was put in the tier when I wasn't gonna play that tier. But yeah, they all know what they're doing. They're talking about, so I don't know.
All right, so what now? What's next?
All right, so I think we talked about Mega Gengar enough. Let's talk about let's talk about Shadowtag in general and the Pokemon that can abuse it. I think Edgar loves Gothitelle enough to know a lot about it.
I don't love it. I actually hated Gothitelle before I was like the Shadowtag hype. But I tried it like on the ladder when getting like Rex, and I actually destroyed a lot of people with that Calm Mind Trick Room set, because a lot of people on the ladder run well, not on the ladder, but in general people run default Arceus. So I had just to like make a double switch into Gothitelle, and they would bring in the Arceus, and I would just set up Trick Room, set up Calm Minds, get to +6, and yeah, basically proceed to 6-0 their team if they didn't have a target type.
Yeah, like
all right,
you can go, friend.
All right, so correct me if I'm wrong. You basically didn't even use. You didn't have to use Stick and Web. You just used it, as a soul mind. Because I remember, like back in SPL days, it was like, oh, you got to use Stick and Web with Gothitelle, but now you're just using Gothitelle on its own, and it's doing perfectly.
Yeah. I think Melee Mewtwo came up with this set against when he played Problems. When he did
that was the best battle ever. Link will be in the description.
Like everyone thought he was like mad. He went like mad, but with Gothitelle. But he was actually he told me he was trying to prove that how broken Shadowtag was, and yeah, people are starting to see it now. Yeah. And it's not as like very situational as people think, because against offense, how Trick Room is really good against offense, because in case they don't have like a dark type or something. But yeah, and against Stall, it just sets up on like anything.
Yeah,
like
anything.
Any wall.
The thing that differs it from Gengar, besides obviously the drop in offensive presence, is it has Shadowtag to begin with. So you don't have to waste the turn Mega Evolving where they can switch and abuse it. You just bring it in. And the set that Edgar's been using is Spadef Calm Mind Trick Room, which 1v1s Defog Arceus easily. I believe not getting 3 at KO.
Calm Mind Arceus too.
Yeah, Calm Mind Arceus as well, because of Side Shot getting the physical defensive side.
I mean, not only Calm Mind Arceus, to be honest. It can also like you can sack something, bring it on like offensive Palkia, and you set up Trick Room, then start setting all Calm Minds.
Yeah, the only way Palkia beats you if it like double crits you.
Or having like Dragon Tail or something.
Yeah, Dragon Tail as well.
What you've got to realise as well, on bulky teams, when Gothitelle comes in, there's not actually really, because it's pretty bulky as well if you get the right EV spreads. When you bring it in on a team, not every still team has a dark type, for example. You can bring it in on something like, I don't know, like Klefki. It can set up, and then for example, it's at a high enough HP anyway. You're gonna have to sack feeling if not, you won't be able to kill it, because
the best.
Gets those 3 turns is bulky.
Yeah, it kind of wrecks stall and balance, and the best thing Klefki can do to it is just like play rough, which is nothing. Yeah. It does nothing.
Yeah, I actually played a fellow user called Anonar. He led up with Klefki, and I led up with Gothitelle, because he had a very good matchup against everything on his team, and I got to set up to +6 against a Klefki. Play rough did like about 30 to 37%, which is not a 3-hit KO after leftovers. Because you need rest as recovery. So.
And also, Gothitelle sort of works like as Gengar. It gets rid of Mons, and not only that, it can actually sweep by itself and work for other teammates. Of course, like versus Stall, you trap Quagsire, which you outstall Quagsire just by going rest. And
also another benefit that Gothitelle has over Mega Gengar is that you don't occupy the Mega slot with Gothitelle.
Yeah. Exactly. You're able to
can run that with like Sardex or something. Sardex is really good.
Yeah, Nubers. Definitely. So what do you think though about the bans then? Should well, I guess we could talk about Wobbuffet too, since it also has Shadowtag, and I know Ali wants to talk about Wobbuffet.
He hasn't quite the whole call.
Really, I don't have the best argument. I don't have the best argument for Wobbuffet, but I just feel as if that, as I've tried to explain to these guys, it gives offensive teams don't normally have dedicated stuff. For example, I know I said Xerneas, but like Xerneas checks, so it will just give those free turns, for example, to set up, and then it's just not good from there really. Anything that really blocks anyone from switching, or it's just not needed or healthy for the meta game, to be honest.
Yeah, the thing that differs it from Gothitelle or Gar is it doesn't have any offensive presence at all, or it can't set up anything. But Encore, you can just use that to your advantage, and it has the HP stat to give it the bulk to survive any hit. So you're basically able to take advantage of what your opponent is doing, and they can't do anything, and you can just set up for that. I like using, I've used dual screens and then Wob, Encore them, and then set up with Lucario, and then it was over like that because Mega Luke, has that speed, and basically because of Wobbuffet I was able to set up for free and wreck anything. And generally, let's say a Pokemon like Palkia, for example, if you get Wobbuffet in on Palkia and you have a Kyogre on your team, Palkia isn't going to want to die. Right, so they'll probably spam T-Wave or Toxic.
Yeah.
You can go for Safeguard, then Encore them, and then go into your setup sweeper.
That's another thing about Shadowtag I wanted to say. Like, it forces the opponent to make aggressive plays. Basically, when playing Shadowtag, like it's almost impossible to play safe unless like you're really good. But yeah, it basically forces you to make aggressive plays around it, which it doesn't work like every time, because if you try to predict like a Kyogre, Gothitelle switching with Landorus D, and your opponent has you have a Kyogre in front, and you stay in, the opponent may just Water Spout and kill your Landorus D.
Just die.
and then your killer can sweep.
Yep. Just the Shadowtags, not only by themselves, but they're also team players, and it forces you to play differently as well. Like I remember one battle I was playing. I was playing some guy for Uber's Premier League, and he had Arceus left, and I had my Gengar. Now he didn't have Shadow Claw on his Arceus. Well, he did, but he hadn't SD'd or anything. So basically, what I did was I went into my Gengar and I didn't Mega Evolve because I expected like Earthquake since it's stronger than Shadow Claw, and I can live Shadow Claw, Mega Gar anyway. And I went for Focus Blast. I was able to knock out the Arceus, and well, I was able to damage it, and then the next turn I was able to Mega Evolve, and then Focus Blast, live the Shadow Claw, and then knock him out with like Sludge Wave or something like that. So basically, Gar forces your opponent to play differently, as well as just not like it. Not only opens up for teammates, but it forces your opponent to play a lot differently. Like right there, those 50-50s that it just promotes. So.
Yeah, I don't think 50-50s are necessarily skill, because I remember one battle. I won't say which, but I remember some user had to lost 8 50-50s in a row. And like after I watched the replay, and I remember that battle because you can really relate that to skill. Because
it's safe to say that player had an off and didn't get outplayed.
Yeah, you had to basically make the same play, and you try to make the same play for 8 turns. I hope it works out.
Yeah, yeah. Like, well, I'll just give how it actually happened. It was E-Killer versus Mega Gengar, and basically Mega Gengar I think already Mega Evolved, and it could easily just Destiny Bond the E-Killer, and that was game. The opponent with Mega Gengar won if they killed E-Killer. So the opponent with E-Killer was forced to just spam Extreme Speed, trying to, take advantage of the fact that Mega Gengar is a ghost type and try to beat the Destiny Bonds, and it didn't work out for them at all. As it was just
the Gengar won in the end.
Yeah, but it just promoted all those 50-50s, which were all luck, which are all coin flips right there.
Alright.
Like at the end of the day, 50-50 or even a prediction is still like a guess. So, yeah, I don't know. It was fun. It was fun to see that opponent get outplayed 8 turns in a row. But
I only said the battle. I didn't say who.
I didn't say who either, man. I didn't give any names.
Yeah, it's a big mystery who it was.
Yeah, I mean, it must just been an unfortunate event to where like that won't ever happen again in that player's career, and whenever they next play, it's going to be a different story. So,
But yeah, Shadowtag. That's why like I don't think only Mega Gar should be banned. I think Shadowtag in general, just like as we stressed, it forces you to team build in a certain way, forces you to play in a certain way, which is why even though Gothitelle, it's not the strongest Pokemon, but it's just ability to set up in 1v1 a lot of Pokemon. 1v1ing stall in itself. Just I think it deserves the ban.
Yeah, I think I want to bring this up because I think Fireburn, it was either Fireburn or Metal Mewtwo, because people said it couldn't be compared to Swagger, which was banned not so long ago from movers, which basically forces like a 50% chance of winning and 50% chance of losing, because yeah, that's a confusing chance. But when you battle Mega Gengar or the Shadowtag users, they force you to make like a 50-50 play, which is almost essentially the same thing, like get the play right or die.
Yeah, basically Shadowtag does
and it's all about luck. Like it's the only those are the only two plays you can make. You don't have other choice.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think for a lot of users in the thread that said, "Oh, I don't find Gengar or Shadowtag broken at all." There's a difference though between tournaments and just straight laddering for Rex. Like for me, for example, when I was laddering for Rex, I just used hyper offense because I thought it was the quickest way. And
yeah, and I when I laddered, I didn't really see much Gothitelle Gengar.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
I saw 3, 4 or something. Then the self hypnosis one, but that's a different thing.
Then the real one came through.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's just I don't know, for people that actually like main this tier, it's understandable.
People who are established in this tier. Not really people who only play Ubers.
I feel like that there's no real argument for people can hold to where other people who are against it would agree to where Gengar has any beneficial effect to the whole, I'd say, metagame at all, to be honest. But obviously people just post for the sake of posting, or yeah.
Yeah, like
which I feel most of people's arguments in that forum are just because they don't want something banned, because they haven't. Because as I said, loads of people did suspects. That's not all the people who play will give a good, well-angled view.
Like obviously these are just our opinions, but we're backing them up with facts.
Right.
Wow, because we actually play this tier and are experienced in it, and we play it at a high level. The ladder isn't always high level.
I mean, we don't like just theory mind. We actually like just from actual playing and experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly, and like in high level situations where we actually have to think our moves. On the ladder, I just click my move the second I think about it. Not saying I play bad or good, but it's completely different from tournament play. As I think about what this situation put me, I obviously think turns ahead, how I'm gonna win, and just Gengar. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people haven't been.
Oh yeah.
They just don't have like the experience to say certain things.
Sorry. But something I think, I don't know if you mentioned it, but people use this as an argument for not banning it, Gengar that it takes one turn to Mega Evolve, and you basically can switch into your check.
Yeah, not really.
Yeah, because if you're like at the point where a lot of your Pokemon are worn down, then the special attack is still increases to a lot. Like Shadow Ball is gonna do a ton.
I mean, it's really easy for Gengar to get one turn. Yeah, you could just use Protect, or it could just come in on something like, I don't know.
Or Sub. Like people.
It could just come in on so many
now.
things and just Mega Evolve. It could just even if you get a double. I mean, it can come in on what Xerneas. Well, not really Xerneas, but what can it come in on?
Actually, some people were talking about running Sub on Gengar because it actually guarantees the Mega Evolution.
Right.
Yeah, because it already has such high base speed.
Yeah, you just bring it on something that's faster, like Palkia, or
that's faster than And
Yeah, you just get the sub up, and you actually benefit from the switch because now they need 2 turns to kill you.
And this also helps versus, like, you know, for example, T-Wave Palkia. Like I said before, the example of Kyogre plus Megagar, your opponent isn't going to want to sack that Palkia and just lose to Kyogre. So, you know, sub on the T-Wave, etc., etc., and just get 2 hits to knock it out, letting Kyogre, like Scarf Ogre, just come through. Stuff like that. It's just, I don't know, it's a Pokemon that I feel it's just unhealthy for the metagame, and not just Gengar in general, but also just Shadowtag. But I think, do we have anything else to add, guys?
Yeah.
Not really much I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah, not much.
No,
Yeah, I
not
can't
really.
really think of much that hasn't already been discussed already.
All right, so I guess that's it. Thank you all of you for coming out. These are my good friends, guys. They're all Premier Uber players, and you know, I hope you guys all enjoy it. So I'll let them say bye, and we'll just wrap it up from there.
See you
All right.
guys.
Later.
Check out
Later.
Edgar. Check out Edgar on YouTube, the Black Stardust. And I apologize for Ali's crappy mic.
Oh,
So-
well, I don't know, I don't really have much.
I
to
apologize for
say.
all these voice.
It's, well, it's not that late, but I don't really have an excuse because I'm pretty tired, so yeah.
And guys, of course, any comments, criticism, leave it in, you know, leave it in the comments. But
Welcome
make
to
sure you
Grand
back it up.
Slam winner.
Back it up with facts. Back it up with
Yeah,
facts.
try to make
Otherwise,
smart arguments.
yeah. Otherwise, it'll just be ignored. So, yeah, that's it. Anyway, later.